Hey, so here's you guys a rant video that I've been trying to stay away from. But you know, every once in a while, some asshat pops his face up on one of my pages and makes a comment that he's got no right to make and he shouldn't make. So we're going to talk about a couple people here. So, Mr. Charles Lindsay. Did you get that? Mr. Charles Lindsay, you want your 15 seconds of fame? Well, guess what, asshat? You're fixing to get it. So you want to slam church? You want to slam Chuck Church? Let me tell you guys a little story about this asshat and what kind of a human being he is. So Chuck Church over a set of headers from Stainless Works that I was going to order through Stainless Works, and Chris, great people at Stainless Works, also put Chuck and I together. So when I first when I pulled the blower motor out and was going to do the whole daily driver thing, I needed a big tube set of headers. Chuck Church had them. I got some from him. We're talking about my front end. I hated the front end under my car. It was a pile of shit. And I've owned a lot of Novas. I own 4 now. One, a real L79 car. So not really a Nova dummy like evidently this Charles Lindsay guy is. So here's the backstory to my front end. So just for a little clarification, the front end, my old style front end, there was only 7 of those went out that way. And he immediately sent the brackets. When we found the problem, he sent the brackets to everybody that had one to fix it. So I want to clarify that. This front end right here, guys, that you like so much, that everybody loved that positive feedback, except one weenie boy that this video's about. All the front ends have been like this for a couple years. I've had my front end under the car for a long, long time. So just wanted to add that in here to where there's no mistaking that anybody thinks that that's the front end they get nowadays, or anybody that's bought one in the past, that's how they are. There was only 7 of those front ends to my front end. He told me, I'll sell you the front end at what it actually cost me. Now keep in mind that Chuck Church is a true car enthusiast, worked a full-time job as a tool and die maker, and was doing all this stuff in his garage at home, him and his family at night. Yeah, working a full-time job, doing his Nova stuff, building the Novas with him and his sons and all that. He said, I'll sell you one of them front ends at my actual cost if you'll do me a favor. I only got one under my car. He said, we only got a couple of them out. He said, I'll do that if you'll give me feedback. If you find out any problems with this front end, let me know so we can address it. Absolutely. I get the front end in the car, drive the car, everything's cool. But when actually Brantley was inside the car and he's playing with the steering wheel and I see the frame flex a little bit. I'm like, huh. I tried to video it, couldn't catch it in a video, but I could stick my finger between the header tube and I had a friend of mine rocking the steering and I could feel the flex. I called Chuck, said, hey, here's what I found. He said, well, let's see what we can do to fix it. So he came up with a bracket system to strengthen that front end. So here's the funny thing about this. This Charles Lindsay guy, who was supposed to be a friend to Chuck Church, like family's type friend, Chuck helps him out with his car, helps sponsor him, all that good stuff. Hooking this guy up because they're friends. When the guy found the same problem, and Chuck had found the same problem or thought he had that same problem, Chuck said, hey, no problem. Let me send you these brackets. Don't put the front end on the car yet. Let me send you these brackets to fix it. Oh, that's all right. I'm going to put it in the car and I'm going to fix it this winter. So winter comes around. Now, Chuck called me every couple weeks. Everything okay? Is the alignment staying? Asking me all these questions, and I gave him feedback. He offers, guys, to go to Canada because the guy said he didn't want to do it. He's going to go to Canada, pick up this man's car, take it back to his shop, fix any problems he might have for free. I can't even tell you how much stuff that Chuck done for this guy because he's his friend. Chuck Church is a personal friend of mine, and that is a wonderful family. So this hat comes on and starts slamming the front end on the YouTube channel. This is this kind of guy right here. This guy needs to be shunned in the entire car industry. Everybody should see this guy's name and let's just nickname him, Asshat's a pretty good name for him, huh? And here's what's funny about it. So then we got this other fellow that likes to slam Chuck Church. This guy is Classic Nova Performance, Mr. Walt. Here's how you got targeted, Mr. Walt, because you want to go around slamming a friend of mine. You have never had one of those front ends, put one in a car, or anything to do with it, because it was competition with your ride tech junk that you got. That's why all of a sudden you went after Church Boys Racing. So now here's a funny thing. So this guy's, he's a parts seller is what he is. He's a reseller. Don't know that he's really a car guy because his featured products, look at this, guys. 3 cars, one of them being his. That's pretty interesting. But here's what's really interesting. So him and Charlie Boy want to always turn around and talk shit about Church Boys Racing. And you know what's really fucking hard to believe? This is the kind of shop I want to take my car to. Look at that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. There you go, guys. That's the guy you need to be buying parts from. He don't even own a cherry picker. He's going to use a damn Harbor Freight winch up there on the A-frame and pull the motor up out of his car. You and Charlie got to be a pair. Go back to this Charlie. So, and and here's the other part. So he goes on YouTube talking about how dangerous the front end is. I'm tied to what I can say because out of a friendship. But if that front end is so unsafe, why would you take it out from underneath your car and sell it to somebody else? You didn't tell that guy it was unsafe, did you? You just want to come on here because, Chuck's gonna get mad when I say this, because Chuck quit picking up the tab on his car and helping him. That's what it was. He got all butthurt. He probably got butthurt when he found out that they were helping me. And I was working with him at Farm Trucking Asian because, yo, Canada boy, you need to go back to get you some maple syrup because you're nothing with your, how many friends you got? Does he have any? Hey, he may not even have any. But here's what I thought was really interesting. He goes around on all these Nova sites slamming Chuck Church. But you know what? If it's so bad and they're such a bad people, oh, come on, where's it at? Come on, I found it earlier. I gotta be getting close. This is funny shit. Whoa, look at that. What's that? What does that say, Stacy? Whose shirt is that?
Oh.
Church Boys Racing, standing tall and proud with your daughter. With your Church Boys Racing front end under your car. And it's so unsafe that you're riding around with this t-shirt with your daughter. Maybe we need to be calling child services. I mean, he says on YouTube, Reaper got for free, you don't know how unsafe it is. Dude, listen, I went faster in my Nova than that pile of shit, mismatched paint having motherfucker of yours will ever run. Don't go after my friends, buddy, because I will come after you. You don't ever want to come face to face with me. Be a man, tell the whole story on that front end. Tell how Chuck Church offered to come to Canada, get your car, fix your car for you, and you absolutely refuse to let him do it. Chuck Church is the kind of person I want to be friends with. You need to go get you some maple syrup. Take your unsafe front end. Oh, man, I just, wearing that shirt. That really makes me want to reach through the screen, grab him by the fucking throat, and pull that shirt off of him. Because he don't deserve to wear a Church Boys Racing shirt. There's your 30 seconds, or actually 5 minutes of fame. Post that shit on YouTube. Post it everywhere. Guys, those two people, all they want to do is run around bad-mouthing people. One of them has never even had in his possession the front end. But you can see here, look how he's advertising for him. Swinging on it. Swinging. Go swing somewhere else, chump.